Today is going to be a little different. You guys wanted to know, how do I make the stickers? How do I make the designs on the bike? I'll show you guys how. But there are a few steps involved. Step 1. Wash your bike clean. Make it shine. Step 2. Let it dry out. There should be no water, no moisture on it. Step 3. Remove all the dust, make it shiny, make it smooth, but remember not to use any oil or wax based substance so that the glue can stick on it. Step 4. Let's design it.
So as soon as you're done with all those steps, you're gonna need long sheets of tracing paper, also known as butter paper. Long sheets of butter paper, some sheets of whatever sticker you're going to use, and some basic stationery, pencil for drawing the designs, for drawing the markings, markers, for outlining, paper cutter, scissors, basic things. I don't like to use tapes while I make the outlines and layout for my design. Some people do use that. I'll show you how I do it otherwise. Let's go down and make some layouts. We are done with the surface preparation and now we are starting the design. For the first part, you're going to need the tracing paper, scissors and a pencil. Remember, this is a butter paper. It's extremely thin, so whenever it's windy, it's going to create a lot of problems. It's a little bit windy today. Once we have a rough outline of the section, we are going to draw our patterns on. We are going to cut off this section and then make further improvements. Remember always to cut off a little larger section than what you are going to be drawing your patterns on. Suppose this section is where I will be drawing, this is what I have cut out. Remember to cut out a little larger section so that if there is any correction to be made, you can make it later on. Now align the rough cutout and make any corrections that you need. Now this gives us the border of the tank and we are going to go and draw a design in this page. Time to get the design on, boys. After we're done with the designing, we're going to cut the borders, take an approximate size of what we're going to do, put the layout on the tank and see how it's going to come out. Let's do it. Here we go. We have done the drawing. We have cut it out. We have the rough layout over here. Stop it. We have this rough layout over here. Now we are going to put it on the tank. We'll see if the draft is good enough for the tank. All the lines are setting along with what I have intended. You can also observe that I have left some extra spaces so that if there is any correction to be made, I can do it afterwards. I do not have the problem of any excessive space or any less space that I might have left over here. So let's check it out. I'll quickly go down, check it, come back. If it's good, we'll move further. If it's not good enough, I'll make the corrections with pencil on the spot and then cut it out again, try it again, and then we'll move to the next step. Well, there were a few corrections, but nothing major. Little bit line moving here and there. Oh, jeez, so I have to switch off the fan. It's flying everywhere. So minor corrections, nothing major. The layout is quite the same. So I've got some paper glue. Let's just flip it over and make it nice and sticky. Now obviously it is not necessary to put a nice full layer of glue all over it and have a nice finish of the whatever glue you're putting behind the sticker page. But I like to do the work properly and I like finishing it up, no rough edges. My preference. Everybody has their own preference. So I've stuck the layout, I've stuck the draft on the glue. Next step, we're going to cut off this section. We have the first section ready. Now all these intermediate parts which you're seeing right now, they won't be wasted. They'll be used in sections like the tail part or the headlight, the belly pan. I'll use the stickers in those sections. So try not to waste any paper. Now for me, the last section is always to draw the final section with a pen so that it can be easily identified while we are cutting it and it's clearly visible. Next step, now we use the smaller scissors to cut out the final and fine edges so that we can proceed to the next step. Now as soon as you're done with all the edges and the design is ready, you can remove the tracing paper from the back. That's going to unnecessarily increase your struggle and you don't want to go through that. Trust me. Trust me on that. So let me clear all this shit on the table. And then we have one side completed. But remember, stop. As soon as you complete this, don't rush downwards and put this straight on your bike. We need to do a very important step before we do that. So the most important step is don't go down on your bike to put this on. Wait a minute. Put the design that you have made back to back with the sheet and trace this outline so that you have the same design on both the sides and you don't have to do the tracing paperwork again and again for the same design. Let's trace it now. Tracing done. Now we'll cut off this part. While watching C2W first try, with the magic of editing, now we have two mirror images of the same design for the tank on both the sides. Now similarly, I'm going to do the same thing and the same steps for the belly pan and the headlight and the tail section of my bike. And together in the next part, I'll show you how to put it on the bike.
3 days later.
So finally, after some good amount of work, we have all the pieces that we need together. I have cut the remaining parts of belly pan and the tail section that I wanted to do. Now guys, I want to tell you beforehand, I can only show you how to do this thing. I cannot teach you how to design. The design has to come from you. You have to make your own design, make it unique. That's why I didn't show you the steps to design my design. I want you guys to make your own design, and I want you to know how to do it. That's why I showed you only the basics of how to. Now we have all the parts together, the belly pan, the tail section, the tank section. I won't be doing anything on the headlights because I might change the headlights. Otherwise also I like the headlight as it is. So now we are going to start the step of sticking it on the bike. For that you're going to need a paper cutter and some fine scissors for the last correction that there might be while you were making all these designs. If something is going out of line or out of margin, and either a heat gun, which I don't have, or a hair dryer, preferably pink. Make it pink so that people know how manly you are. Now let's go down with all of these things and let's designing and sticking things on our motorcycle. Make it awesome, man. And finally we have the final product. It's neat, it's clean, it's nice, but honestly I don't like it too much. Most definitely I'll be changing the design, and that will be included in the new bike reveal. Hope to see you guys soon. Remember, from next video onwards I'm starting the new series BuFFMotO, the Pokemon Go Let's Play on motorcycle. It's a little unsafe, but I have found a safe way to play it, and I'll show you guys in the video. Until next time, adios.